Okay. Now, I just posted a video about a vehicle that was parked in front of my house. Now, I feel like this vehicle here being parked out there, I feel like that was done on purpose. Okay. Now, I already spoke to my neighbors earlier this morning. Uh, to let them know why. I had the response that I had. Now my neighbors they've only lived next door to us it hasn't been that long. It hasn't been that long. I don't even know if it's been a full year yet. But before they lived in this house that's next door to us in the video, before they moved into the house, there was some more people that lived there, a group of guys that lived there. And I worked at night, overnight shift. I didn't get out of work till 5:30 in the morning. Me and my oldest daughter, my youngest daughter, and her dad was here at the house. My daughter was in her room sleep, and the dad was in his room. Now, me and my oldest daughter were at work, working. I took a little break and checked the cameras while I was at work. Checked my cameras while I was at work. And I'm looking at the cameras, and all I see is lights blaring everywhere. About seven or eight loud cars outside my house. Can I tell you? I hurried up and dropped everything that was going on at that job and zoomed my ass home to see what the hell was going on in my house. I get her to the house and pull up. I get her to my house, pulled up, couldn't really access my driveway because the cops had it blocked off. So I find out that there had been a shootout, and this was like was just last year, like towards the beginning. It was the beginning of last year, or it might have been the year before that. Yeah, it was the year before that. So yeah, I pull up to the house. I get out. My daughter, I guess she heard me outside saying, "What the hell is going on?" or "What's going on?" And she came on out the door. uh, I had to let the cops know that this was my home, that I lived here. So then they proceeded to tell me what was going on, which was there had been a shootout right next door, and the people was either they were fighting each other and started shooting at each other, or they were or they had was being robbed. Somebody had possibly ran up in the house on them or something. It was one of those two things. So I was like, oh my God. So my daughter was shook up by that. She was literally, shaking. Now, the reason why she was shook up by is because whatever they had going on over there next door, uh, when they got into it with each other, like I said, they started shooting, and there was a bullet that went through my daughter's window, and every house, I guess, as the person was leaving, they were steady shooting. Every house down our block got hit with bullets. Every house. And some houses got hit more than others. But that was from that one little incident that took place at that house. My thing is this here. I think people need to start using their common sense a little more. Versus I think people need to just think more and more in depth before they, react in certain situations. Because that could have ended up very badly for my child, which would have made it even worse, which would have made that situation even bigger. So, yeah, I'm very protective of what we have going on here. And so, no, I don't want to see vehicles that we don't know parked in front of my home, because that in itself, if you think about it, that in itself could possibly create problems. It could create a problem like, I don't know if it's a male or a female driving that car, but someone could think that that person, whoever's driving the car, somebody could think that they, up in our house. Could have somebody thinking that they, fooling around with somebody that lives here. I don't know. I don't know. Hell, if them people, do drugs or whatever, I don't know. It could have somebody think, whomever knows them could have, somebody thinking that they could be coming here to buy the shit. But I know damn well they're not coming here to buy nothing, because we don't get down like that at all. I don't play that. So what I'm saying is that right there could open up the doorway to other misunderstandings and scenarios. I saw where two people, after I posted the video that I just posted a few minutes ago, I saw where two people had left comments under the video that I posted, saying that if the car's on the street and it's public, it's public road, so there's really nothing that can be done about it, and this, that, there, and the other. Well, I understand all that. I know the law. I've been here in Texas. I've lived here in Texas up to this point my whole life, in Dallas, Texas. So I know some of the laws. I know a lot of the laws here in Texas. um, but that law in particular might be one that needs to be changed because of the simple fact that it's not. I mean, just if you just use your common sense, that doesn't make sense. And then it doesn't make even more sense for a person to randomly park in front of someone else's house or yard if they're not visiting that home. It just doesn't make sense. So why do it? That brings to question, why do it? Why not park in front of your own home? Because generally when people have like parties and stuff like that, they have enough common sense to let their neighbors know. Look, come knock on the door, whatever, and be like, well, I'm gonna have a little gathering, I'm gonna have a little party, so we might take up a little space, with parking and whatnot. Okay, that's cool, that's fine. They had enough sense to let the person know, you know. But to just be randomly parking in front of somebody's house and then leaving your vehicle out there, that don't that shouldn't be done. That should never be done. That, I feel like that is a disrespect of space. Even if it is, considered the uh, city line, that's still a level of disrespect of a person's private space. And I would feel better if people use their common sense more and actually respected themselves more. I mean, because like I said, it could this that could go a whole bunch of different ways. That could go a whole bunch of different ways. What if I was a real crazy like what if I had like a mental problem, a real, what if I was like what if I was schizophrenic and that was a trigger for me, and as soon as I see you, I'm just sitting in the window looking at the blinds, and as soon as I see you going to your car, I run out my house, and anything goes. Everything is up from there. So what I'm saying is, people need to respect people's space and boundaries. If you don't want your space and boundaries crossed, don't cross nobody else's space and boundaries. Like, seriously. And furthermore, okay, now this a car, right? This a vehicle. The comments that was left under the video that I posted, they said that there was nothing that I could do about it. And the way that I think, my mental mind, the way that I think, when I read that, I understood the person was, giving their opinion or whatever. And that's, fine. On Facebook. That's fine. And they weren't being, that it didn't come across as being argumentative or nothing like that. So that's fine. But my mind, when I read that, and then for the person to say that's public road and there's nothing that you can do about it, my mind instantly went to, there was a young lady, and I'm assuming that was her boyfriend with her one night, and this wasn't too long ago. This was like about maybe 4 or 5 months back. There was a young lady, and I just so happened was up in my living room watching, TV, YouTube to be exact. Because most of the time I'm up at night. I'm used to working at night, overnight shifts, so I'll be up at night. So there was this one night in particular. I'm sitting there and I'm watching TV, and all of a sudden I hear a young lady, a young Hispanic female, outside my front yard, and they was in front of my house. They was in front of my house, and I heard her yelling. She was just yelling to the top of her lungs. And I don't know why didn't nobody else hear her, or if I don't know, if somebody else did hear her, they didn't budge or flinch, or nothing. So I'm looking out my window. I muted my TV, put my TV on mute, and I looked out the window, and I'm like, what is that noise? What is going on? I'm peeking out my blinds. I see that her and this young man is right in front of my house. He was literally wrestling with her. It looked as if she was walking off away from him. And I'm assuming that she was trying to get away from him. But I think she might have been a little loaded. Might have been, tipsy, drunk. I'm gonna say drunk because that was more than tipsy. But I know that she was trying to get away from him because I'm watching, what they're doing. And she kept saying, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. And I'm like, I'm in my window, in my blinds, and I'm looking at, I'm like, man, it's like, this crazy. And this incident was going on right in front of my front yard. Like the woman said in the comment, on the roadway, at the end of my driveway. They weren't up on the sidewalk or the curb. But I saw him wrestling with her in the street. And she fell. She would fall, and he would get her, like pull on her. He would grab her and pull on her, yank on her, and pull and yank. And she kept, yelling, leave me alone. Let me go. Leave me alone. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. So I didn't want to I didn't want to go out my door to deal with the situation. So what I did was I called the police, and I spoke with an operator over the phone, and I was telling the operator what was going on, what I was seeing, and how the young lady was acting and going on, and I don't know what was going on. I just know that she didn't want to go with him. And he tried to put her in a car, and she was fighting him. She did not want to get in that car. And she kept telling him to leave her alone. So I didn't know what the hell was going on. But I could only go off of what I saw and what I was hearing. So they sent out a unit, to come check the situation out and whatnot. I think by the time the unit actually got to the area here, the young man had got her in the car, but she got back out the car, like down the ways, and at the stop sign, down the street at the stop sign, because that's where they were. And I was like, okay, so they're here to, hopefully they'll give her whatever type of help she needs or whatever. Because I didn't know what the hell was going on with that. And my thing is, shit, the girl seemed like she needed help. So that's where my mental mind went when I read that comment that was left under that video. And I was like, I said, all I could think of, and I said to myself, I said, I said, if that's the right way to go about handling stuff, and yes, we're talking about two different scenarios, but still, if that's the right way to go about dealing with stuff, then why would we get involved? Why would a person, if a person can randomly park in front of your house, leave a car in front of your house, and disappear, and you not know who car that is, you not know who car it is, or who it belongs to, then if that's the right thing, if that's the correct way to deal with a situation like that, then what is the correct way for me to have dealt with the situation that I saw between that young girl and that young boy? Because they weren't in my yard. They weren't like physically on my grass. They weren't physically in my driveway, but they were at the edge of the driveway. And she was on the ground being pulled at the edge of my driveway, in the street in front of my house. So should I have not done anything in that situation? Yeah, no. Yeah, I think some things need to be some stuff, some of the stuff, some of the stuff, some of the laws might need to be, relooked at and whatnot, because that one pertaining to the roadways, and they can park wherever they want to park as long as they're not in your yard or up on the curb. That needs to be relooked into. Because if that's the case, then I guess what you're saying is I shouldn't have gave a damn about the young girl outside my house screaming and yelling and hollering if they weren't in my front yard, if they weren't on my grass or in my driveway, right? Yeah, no, I don't think so. Well, this is the end of this video. Hey, leave your opinion.